I'm excited to introduce my next presenter. His name's Kevin Harrington, if you don't know him. He's an original shark from the ABC show Shark Tank. And he's launched over 20 businesses that have grown to over 100 million in sales each. He's been involved in more than a dozen public companies, and he's launched over 500 products generating more than 5 billion in sales. So he's got a lot to teach us. Now he's going to divulge every single secret that he knows within the next 20-30 minutes here. And especially from his experience as the inventor of the infomercial and the As Seen on TV founder. But he was just telling me about a cool organization that he helped create. It's called the Entrepreneurs Organization. Can you tell me just a little snippet about that so that everybody can learn?
Yeah. So in 1987, there was a group of us young entrepreneurs. Michael Dell from Dell Computers was one of them. Ted Leonsis, who went on to become #2 at AOL. And he's both of those guys are billionaires. And we all were hanging out, and we're young entrepreneurs. We said, we've learned some things, made some mistakes. We were kind of getting together on a regular basis and said, what if we formed an organization? And so we did. Vern Harnish was the catalyst for all of this, and Vern's kind of a famous guy in his own world now. But so we started. It was called YEO, the Young Entrepreneurs Organization, but we said you got to be under 40 years old because we were all in our 20s, right? Well, as we got closer to 40, we said we better change the name to EO because we're going to have to change that age also. So we went to a formal name change to EO, and now and then we made the age 50, and I don't even know if they have a limit on how old you can be. But make a long story short, EO today. And so I'm known as one of the founders of EO, is the largest entrepreneurial organization in the world. The members do over $500 billion in a collective fashion, and we're in 150 cities, 45 countries. So if I go to Shanghai, the EO guys come down and meet me. If I go to Mumbai, they come to, hey, let's go get together with Kevin. And, so it's pretty cool. In each chapter now, Tampa is a very small chapter where I live. It's only about 30 people. New York, they've got various chapters and, hundreds of entrepreneurs. But
right.
It's kind of an exclusive group. You got to have $1 million in sales. It costs, a couple grand a year to join. So it's not like, anybody can just come into EO. You've got to sort of get invited. But it's very, very powerful. And been a great. For me, I help mentor many people now. I get calls every single month from EO, somebody around the world. But I also have connected in for distribution, and like I mentioned Shanghai because when I got there, I needed some help. All of a sudden, I had 20 people on an email chain giving me phone centers, credit card clearinghouses, banking, all kinds of boom, boom, boom. Kevin, we are your resource to come to China if you want, So it was pretty amazing to see something I started 30 some years ago helping me out now here in 2000, and this was last year, 17. So
that's phenomenal, yeah. And it really is a testament to show, when you empower other people, something can grow exponentially on you. And hopefully during this, you're going to empower a lot of people to hit that $1 million in sales through the As Seen on TV knowledge that you're going to be divulging, so that they can join EO as well. The biggest question that we get is, how do I get my product on TV?
Right. So look, the best way is to partner with somebody that's in the business. Okay, to be honest with you, only because if anybody can get their product on TV themselves if they want to write a lot of checks. Okay. Because you got to have a great looking TV commercial. You got to have inventory. You got to have your product has to be developed, engineered, manufactured, molded, inventoried, all of that, right? So if you've already done that, now all you need is a commercial. Well, go shoot the commercial. But then you got to buy media time. So we'd spend $250,000 to, if somebody walk in my office and they've got an idea and we like it, we'll put the money up to engineer it, to tool it, to manufacture it, to bring the inventory in, shoot the commercial, buy the media, test it, build the landing pages, the websites, boom, 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 all in that might cost $150,000 to $250,000. We'll put that money up if we like the deal. But and when I say we, there's dozens of people out there that are kind of in this industry of bring the product to them. So I'm not here just to say it's me only. I can refer people to other people also, because it's always good to just go out and kind of check the waters out. But what I like to do is test. Now we test on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or Google, right? AdWords, whatever. We don't just go spend, big hundreds of thousands of dollars on a TV test. Right. We like to test it first. We call it off-Broadway. Why not test it on the internet before you go to TV? Because one of the challenges with TV is it's a mass market situation, but a lot of products may not be mass market. So, but we learn a lot from the internet, and then we can position it correctly. And the other thing is, we also many times now start at a QVC or a home shopping network, which is TV, but there you don't have a lot of exposure. It's, they're actually buying the goods from you, so you make money putting it on QVC or home shopping network, right? So that's the other way to go. But bottom line is, if somebody out there has something cool and exciting, they should, if they're prepared to do it themselves, we can show them how they can do it themselves, depending upon how far along it is, from probably a minimum of like $20,000, because you got to build at least a landing page and buy some digital media. You don't have to go do a fancy TV commercial. Right. You can do more of an authentic kind of a video.
That's a great example, and I think you really hit the nail on the head. Knowing your audience is key. So if you have a niche product, testing it out online, learning that from that exposure. But what kind of products are right for infomercials? What kind of products can scale through this channel? Okay.
Fitness products are great. Okay. I mean, every single week I'm getting fitness products presented, and I've got great connect. I mean, Tony Little is my buddy for many years. He loves fitness products. Okay. So, but we also have females, like there's tons of females interested in fitness. In fact, it was funny the other day, somebody said, I want to get Jillian Michaels, to do something, from The Biggest Loser, right? And she's out in the market doing deals, right? So we can get to pretty much anybody, but fitness is good, weight loss is good, beauty is good. Beauty is very competitive though. I mean, if you look at HSN or QVC, they have hundreds of brands already, right? So if you're going to go in and pitch beauty to somebody, one of the beauty buyers at HSN or QVC, you got to find where it fits in and the uniqueness positioning. Because, for example, they've got Jennifer Flavin Stallone, Sylvester's wife. She's got acne at HSN. You've got to have some unbelievable acne to get her pushed off to the side, because she does $75 million a year there, and they're just not going to want to mess with one of their great, partners, so to speak, right? So it's always important to create this positioning that, that works.
So I think that's a big takeaway you said there. Don't bump Sylvester Stallone's daughter off QV. So
yeah.
Okay.
Why?
I think everybody should write that down. Just it's a good life lesson in general.
Yeah. Hey, Sylvester might be coming after you. Okay,
So besides that mistake,
a machine gun is outside your house named Rambo, you'll know you did something wrong. Okay.
So besides that mistake, what are some of the biggest mistakes that you've seen? When people approach this kind of a market, because everybody sees it as kind of the mountaintop, but not a lot of people kind of know what it takes to get there. Okay, so I tell you, if I could grab some of the money back that I've given celebrities that didn't deserve it, because Joan Collins, I gave her 50 grand to do a beauty product. She shows up for the shoot. Oh, well, I'm not going to say that I use this product. Okay. But you did cash the check, Joan, right? Yeah. Well, what did you think you were hosting the show for, right? Like, you're not going to say you use it. Okay, good. I got you. So, that's going to cost you a lot more money. Okay. So,
more than 50,000. So, I mean, one of the challenges we ran into was using celebrities that weren't passionate about the product. So, and that was just bad communication with our production department when they were hiring talent. It's like agents nowadays that we deal with know that if we're going to give talent 50 grand, they've got to not only believe in the product, they've got to be a user, they've got to be supportive, and they've got to want to get behind it. Okay, we're not just giving them 50,000 to show up. I mean, why is she hosting our show, right? So we did, Chubby Checker brought me a fitness product that bombed, and it's like, don't do a fitness product with a guy named Chubby, right? So, he was supposed to lose a lot of weight before he came on the the infomercial. A lot of that weight wasn't gone when he got there, right? So, a lot of stories like that, and so nowadays, it's influencers, right? You go to influencers based on how many people they're influencing, right? And so, it's I'll tell you, we used Flo Rida to do a product. He got 26 million followers. And one of his followers was Khloe Kardashian. And so he started tweeting about, this was an energy drink called Celsius. It's healthy energy. And he's tweeting, and then he calls, he says, hey, Kev, can Khloe like a couple cases of it? We send her a couple cases. Who's tweeting for free now? Khloe Kardashian, to her 90 million followers. Right. The traction that we got out of this was unbelievable. So, today's world is very cool. And, forget about the old days of the Joan Collins not being able to help you at all. In fact, we spent all this money on that project and never even put the show on TV because it was a disaster, Whereas today, we spend the money a lot more efficiently. Yeah,
and I wanted to touch on that. So you mentioned before about social media. One of our members asked a great question that leads into that. How can I test my product so that I know that it's ready for a mass market?
Yeah, so I mean, we do Facebook, Instagram stories, Facebook Live, Facebook ads. We do Google AdWords. We use YouTube. We used other digital pockets that we utilize. But I mean, look, Facebook is good because they have 1,800 kind of demographic points you can choose from. And so, for example, we were selling a nightlight for your toilet bowl, called Global. Have you seen that product?
Yeah.
Crushed it with it. We sold millions of these things, right? And when we first looked at it, we're like, who is this for? Well, seniors that need to get up in the middle of the night, kind of like me. I'm getting up there in age, right? And so, so we had one ad geared towards seniors. So we can go on Facebook and target seniors. Now, but then we said, but wait a minute. Kids are wetting their bed because it's dark at night. They're afraid to get up. They just go to the bathroom in the bed. What if we could give them a product that gave them light so they could get up and check it out, right? So this was global, and boy, it crushed it when we went after mothers that had kids that had bedwetting problems. So the two different audiences, both of them crushed it on Facebook. So now, if you go out mass market, by the way, the TV commercial didn't work. As Seen on TV was not successful. But Facebook, because we targeted and we were able to pinpoint markets and ads to those specific markets, we were able to actually get to the point of we were spending over $100,000 a week on Facebook generating good sales return. So whereas TV didn't work. So sometimes that mass market is not a success. Like TV.
Yeah, it's a great example. So, thinking about that, should somebody with a product that's doing incredibly well in retail, when they're doing it in the store, should they consider taking it to a As Seen on TV or an internet exposure? Is that always the right fit?
Oh, yeah, both, absolutely. Because I mean, I was just talking to some people earlier this morning. They're like, "Oh, we got a big order coming in from Costco and this and that," and I'm like, "Okay, great, but getting it on the shelves is easy. Getting it to sell off the shelves is the tough part." In fact,
very much so.
at Walgreens, you get it on the shelf. You don't get paid until the scan goes through and it's sold to the consumer.
Dollar
Whatever
General
it does
as well
is coming back. So you can get it on the shelf, but now you have to create a campaign to move it, whether it's TV or digital. We like to use a combination. In fact, I mentioned Celsius. We use Pandora Radio, we use Facebook, we use influencers, we use local TV shows. We never did As Seen on TV because Celsius was a 12-ounce can that we couldn't really afford to ship to people. It was, who wants to ship, the weight of shipping a 6-pack of Celsius, it was prohibitive to make it successful. So, so bottom line is, there's other ways to do things now outside of the world of As Seen on TV, for sure.
I think it's a perfect example, and a lot of people don't think about using these kind of platforms as a way to push product that is already in store.
Exactly.
So one of our members asked an interesting question, what kind of margins or fees can they expect when, taking a product direct to the consumer through either HSN, QVC, or by doing it themselves through an As Seen on TV commercial?
Right. So, we like to tell people they need to have at least a 4-time markup, preferably a 5-time, meaning if they are selling something for $40, they should have no more than $10 cost, but more likely $8. Okay, because QVC, HSN, if it retails for $40, they're going to want to buy it for less than $20. Probably like target point would be $18. Mm-hmm. They're going to buy it for. And then you have to take back the returns. So, and you're going to get back 10%. So if you take 10% off of $18, that's almost like another $2. You're really only netting $16. So if you have a $10 cost, you're netting 16. So you make $10 cost, you make $6, and then they sell it for 40. So, but hey, look, $6 profit is not bad if you have no total exposure, because they're your client, they're going to pay for it. But now, if you are going direct to the consumer in the world of As Seen on TV, one of the challenges is you may be spending, $30-some on media, per order. Yep. So that's why, if let's say you're spending between $20 and $25 on media, that's sort of a break even because you've got an $8 or $10 cost, you got fulfillment, and you got credit card processing and returns, and so media costs are very high when you're doing As Seen on TV. So you've got to, because you go out, spend all the money, you don't know how much is going to come back in the way of sales, but you got to figure pretty close to 50% of your sales are going to be media, and and that's kind of the similar. It's almost similar to HSN, because if you figure HSN is going to take 50% of your sales, $40, they want 20 at least. It's kind of a similar model, but it's a little safer actually on the shopping channels because you at least have a fixed profit, right. $6. With media, you never know.
That's an excellent example, and I think that a lot of people might be shocked by that, but that 4 times, 5 times markup is something that you should really have built in. And one thing that the listeners would probably kill me for not asking is, how can somebody get their product on Shark Tank? What's the secret?
Okay. Yeah, okay, I got a couple good secrets for you. And the funny thing is that I've gotten a ton of products on Shark Tank, and Shark Tank doesn't even know how many products I've gotten on there because I've coached people on how to do it. And I'll say this. There's a couple, there's never a guarantee, okay, because they have this massive process that you got to go through, and literally tens of thousands of people every year trying to get on the show, okay? So one thing I say, you need a perfect pitch. And so, and the pitch should be concise. It should be, don't make it more than about a total of 2 minutes, and it should be in video form, because if they can see something powerful on video, they're seeing this on the show. So that's what you got to be understand. The producer is saying, the person that just made that pitch, if they can do what I just saw on Shark Tank, they're going to be great. Okay. So you need to practice, 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 but you need, I say you need to tease, please, and seize. Tease with something very attention getting and maybe geared towards one of the sharks. Maybe like, I'll give you an example. We had a hair growing product that Shark Tank made an offer to put on the show. Okay. So it was a helmet that grows hair. So I'm coaching my folks on how to do it. And I said, look, Mr. O'Leary's bald. Okay. So why don't you show a picture of O'Leary with a lot of hair, on King, like, hey, if you use this product, Kevin O'Leary, this is what you would look like. Okay. So like in a joke, right? So, it's like, do something funny. This is an attention getter, right? And so they played to one of the sharks, but kept it concise, and then the C's. So the T's is getting their attention with O'Leary with a bunch of hair. Oh, what's that? Oh, that's because he's used our amazing hair growing product, right? Then get serious with what is your product, and it's got FDA clearance, it's got clinical studies, it's got this. You need efficacy. You need to show that it's got real studies behind it. I think this is one of the things that Shark Tank likes to see is documentation. Okay, this is ABC and Disney that runs this, right? So now you've got a tease, and now you've got the documentation, and now you've got the C's. What is an irresistible offer? And I'll give you one tip for anybody out there that wants to get on Shark Tank. I say people always forget that they've got to get the shark to write that check, and they're just thinking really about themselves. I say the biggest mistake people make is it's me, me, me. I got this greatest product. I've got this. This is my pitch. I need money, right? Think about shark, shark, shark. So, Mr. Shark, I'm concerned. I want you to get your money back real fast. So I'll give you 100% of the profits of my company until you get all your money back. That's called an accelerated payback to the shark. Now, very few people ever, I don't know, I've never seen anyone go on Shark Tank and do that.
Me neither.
And I will tell you that is something that's very powerful. So, think about what it takes to be the shark, because they're looking at thousands of deals themselves beyond Shark Tank even. So, because they're getting inundated, right? But, hopefully those are a few tips that'll help some of the people that are listening today.
Excellent. So remember that it's a show for entertainment first.
Yeah.
Be entertaining.
Be entertaining. Yes. Give them something funny that they can, that can give a little laugh to the crowd, like O'Leary, with a big head of hair, right?
I hope in a few months we'll be able to find out somebody got on based on that tip.
Okay.
So, what is to end this awesome interview? What is the best thing that an entrepreneur can do this year to prepare for success? What's the trend? Where should they focus?
Well, so I got to go back, and this is something that I'm very involved in now. I started when I was 15 years old knocking on doors. I was a door-to-door salesman, built a little business, driveway sealing, and then I read Zig Ziglar's book called See You at the Top, and it was a mind shift change that said, go, to the bigger things. And so I got into college. I started
book.
A big business then that I had 25 employees my sophomore year in college. And so then he came out with Secrets of Closing the Sale, which was my infomercial days. And that helped me get to $5 billion in sales. So Zig has been a mentor to me before he passed away in 2012. And so I just want to say that, tuning into Zig Ziglar and his, sales techniques, because I always go back to the basics of what made me successful and what helped me build 20 businesses to $100 million each. It always got down to sales. And so, I think the bottom line is that, I'm really not a great CEO. I'm a good salesman. Okay. So, yes, I've been CEO many times, but today I'm the CEO of nothing because I like to just bring my knowledge to dozens of companies instead of running one or two, right? So, so I think I'm the CEO of the Harrington household here with my wife. But other than that, I really provide mentorship and advice to many companies. So with my investments and equities and whatever, but I go back to, becoming, a good salesman, and I keep the secrets of closing the sale very close to me, from my kitchen to my desk to my bed to wherever. And I just, I got involved with the Ziglar family, and I'm actually bringing Zig back through a new master class that we're doing with Zig Ziglar. So that's a very cool program.
And if somebody wanted to learn more about that master class, how could they find out more?
They could go to zigsecrets.com, and that's zigsecrets.com. And we have free videos. There's a whole series of free videos that I did with Zig, and actually we're bringing Zig into hologram format in some of the videos now. So, I mean, to see Zig in hologram on stage is pretty amazing. So it's exciting. So
very cool.
But yeah, thank you for that, Joel. I appreciate it.
Of course, and I'll make sure to put that link in the bottom so everybody has an easy way to click on it and nobody doesn't spell it right. But I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for your valuable insight.